hit record and I'm going to mute all except you. So I'll then make sure everybody, oops, close that down. Hello, everybody.
Will I be able to see people?
Can you see people? You have to change your view up in the top right corner because there's people sitting in here.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to do
Okay,
that.
top right corner of your screen, take your cursor up there. It should say view.
I see maximize, minimize, pop
Not that
out.
not that far up. It's in the black screen still.
It says invite, mute all.
It's okay.
Where in the black? Oh, in the box?
Yes, inside the box. Go to
It says leave meeting, okay.
you go to options or look at the bottom where your options are. I don't know. I have the advanced
Oh,
version.
here it says view speaker gallery.
Here,
Got
get
it.
gallery.
I did it. Now I know.
All right. Hello, hello, everybody. We're excited you're here today. Mm.
Hello, it's exciting to be here.
Hello. So if you guys want to let us
Anya, hi, Deborah.
Hi,
tell
so
us,
happy to see you.
tell us where you're coming in from. We'd love to hear where you guys are coming in from.
Illinois.
Oh, nice.
Boston.
Great. I'm in New York.
I'm in Idaho.
She's in Idaho. We can't even comprehend the existence there, but it is.
That's here.
I give her crap all the time about it, but
Well, I do live in Redneck Village. That's like what I say over
and
here.
she's not a redneck.
No, I am not. Hey, Amy. Hey, Susan. Mm. Okay, so my clients are coming in too. We got
Who are your clients? Which ones?
just a minute. So I got Chef Amy, I got Mia, I got Susan, Sonia. Got a lot of peeps in here.
Good.
All right. Make Siobhan, she's from Alaska. She's one of my clients. Mm-hmm. My hair is long because I haven't had time to go cut it.
See, it's not just me. I was shocked to see how long your hair is.
Well, and usually I do curl it, but today I was just like, I didn't have the time for it.
No, but you look like Pippi Longstocking if you were to have braids.
Braid my hair.
If you braided your hair, I just thought of Pippi Longstocking. Oh my God, I'm mental. I need help.
Yeah, well, we don't have time to talk about that today.
But we want you guys to learn, but have a good time in this master class because it's all important.
Thanks, Sonia. Yes, I'm excited because I think that what you guys will see is that this is something you don't get anywhere else, right? I mean, you can find a speaking coach in a lot of ways, and a lot of you have found me and are my clients, but like to add comedy, to add humor, to know how to do it on purpose. My thing was always, I wanted to learn stand-up, not because I needed to go do stand-up. I know I'm funny, but I wanted to be funny on purpose. And there is a whole art to it. And I'm excited that we have Julie here that really knows how to do that. And so it is just an extra layer. And it's also just another amazing thing to help you stand out amongst all the boring speakers. I mean, how many of you have sat through the boring speakers? I know Amy has. Amy's gone to some things and she's like, you've ruined me from watching anybody speak.
And so many businessmen, as I told you, Erin, I mean, this is where my interest in being a speaker came in because so many guys were like, I can't keep people's attention because knowledge in of itself is not compelling. You need to connect authentically to that audience. And we're going to discuss that.
All right. So I'm going to let you man the people coming in, and I'm going to
I
start
will.
sharing the screen. All right. Get this out of the way and present mode. All right. So we're excited to have you guys here. This was something that Julie and I really discussed about how persuasion can come. And, I'm really good at being able to convert people from stage, but humor is another whole way of like converting people, right? In order to get someone to laugh and laugh out loud, I mean, that's a pretty amazing skill to have, because they have to be, okay with, maybe they have a funny laugh. Maybe they're like, ah, like, so they're embarrassed. So if you can get someone to like belly laugh at your stuff and almost, turn into a kid, it really is fun. I love going to comedy clubs with my husband. We love watching comedy. So I'm excited to say that, there's such a great line between humor and persuasion that when you put them together, you really become unstoppable. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, like we were saying, how to be persuasive without putting your audience to sleep. I think a lot of people have come, they come into a room and they have all these people there and they're like, okay, I'm going to speak. And a lot of times they don't realize that there's things that they're not doing that's keeping them about being persuasive. Maybe, some things I say about the 4 parts of compelling communication, 50% is your nonverbal communication. If you go in there and they're reading your bio and it's like, man, Erin's amazing. She's awesome. She has all these things. She's done all this work. And then I go up there and I'm like, hi, I'm Erin, right? The body language in itself, it tells the audience that you're not the leader that they just read you off to be. And so you really got to make sure not only are you showing up confidently, being able to articulate what you want to say, but being persuasive in that. And I have a lot of speakers that come to me and I'm like, Erin, I need your help. I want to do a TED Talk. I want to get on these stages. And I'm like, okay, so what is your conversion ratio? And most will say, what? Because they're not keeping track of who is actually converting from audience to customer and clients. And so this is really important to be able to learn and to endear people to you. We're going to be talking about signature offer. We're going to be talking about your signature talk. We're going to be talking about adding humor in your stories to endear the audience to you as well and to keep them entertained. That is a lot of stagecraft. It's a lot of work, and most speakers aren't willing to put in
They
the
have no idea where that begins. That is unfortunate. It's
right.
like, Erin, how doctors know how to fix things, but they don't know how to prevent. They never were taught that.
Right. And that's why these things are so important. So if you have been speaking and you're not converting as well as you want, you're in the right place. And if you have been speaking and converting and you want to get better
And
you're in the
make
right
more
place.
money. We always want to make more money.
Get more clients faster, easier, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So our goal today is going through this is to really help you understand the subtle nuances. That is a formula for success for speakers. I feel like most people go, I went to the emergency care or urgent care yesterday, and the doctor's like, well, tell me, what do you do? I've had a sinus infection, so I was getting medicine for it. And he's like, you're a speaking coach? Oh, people tell me all the time I'm good at speaking. People invite me to speak all the time. And I am just like, that's what every speaker says to me. But my thing is, if you're not converting them and you're getting clients, you're wasting your time going out there and hitting stage after stage after stage. But if you actually focus on the craft, nail down the craft of it, be able to sell an offer that's so sexy you want to buy it, it's not sales. And so you're not afraid to get out there and get on stages and sell and get clients. And so we're going
Because
to talk
you're
about
having fun doing it.
and having fun doing it, right? So for those who don't know me, I'm Erin Loman Jeck. I'm an executive speaking coach, a TEDx speaking coach, and I have been a business coach for speakers for 13 years. I too was out speaking and I wasn't closing the room. People would say, oh my gosh, you're so great. Come and speak at this event and this event. But no one was buying anything I was selling. And I remember one specifically that I went outside and I packed up all my stuff, just feeling really defeated, and put my forehead on the steering wheel. And I was like, there's something's off. I don't know why I'm not converting. There's something off. I taught them a lot of information. Everyone loved it. Everyone gave me lots of accolades. They actually asked me to speak to their groups and things like that, but nobody bought. And so it was in that moment, I was like, I never again want someone like all of us, our servant leaders, servant hearts that have something to change the world with, to feel that defeated. And so that's when I went on a mission to figure out what it was that I wasn't doing. I've since taken NLP. I have learned a ton of stagecraft, a ton of how to close and be persuasive from stage. And it's just gotten easier and easier. And it goes back to my background in therapy. As a therapist, I learned how to build rapport fast. So if you can build fast rapport with your audience, which we're going to go into in our workshop, which is going to be awesome, you're really going to be able to convert these people from audience members to clients every time. So I'm excited to have you here. And I wanted to bring on my dear friend, Julie. We're partnering on this workshop and doing this work together because I also know, like I said before, that I wanted to be funny on purpose. Like I'm the friend when we're all out drinking and having a good time. I'm like, that's what she said. And the whole room is erupting. We're having fun. My girlfriend say, I keep you around because you're so damn funny. And we never know what's going to come out of your mouth. But I didn't know how to do that from stage as well as I could. And so I love to have Julie here. Julie has been doing amazing things in the world. I mean, she was awarded the New York's Funniest Woman as a comedian. She's done comedy. She's been a publicity professional and a literary agent. This woman's knowledge is huge. So I'd love for her to come talk about her journey on how she got to where she is today. Julie?
So I was a publicist initially. Everything in business is publicity, and I am a publicity expert. I know about branding. I was an agent in Hollywood for 20 years, and more recently in my own company, while I was doing stand-up comedy on the side for 25 years, I was working with writers, so similar to speakers, helping them to brand themselves as a writer and as their representative to enable me to have them stand out in a slew of screenwriters that production companies were being pitched by agents, managers. And so every screenplay they wrote, every pitch I made, I had to really be very conscious of branding and showcasing why their individual screenplay would make a hit in the market. So in my stand-up, Erin, do you want me to, did you want me to talk about stand-up now? You tell me, Erin, you go.
No, I mean, I think, what I love about your story is how you've been kind of a comedian your whole life. So just give people a little taste of why
yes,
it's
funny.
So funny.
So as a kid, I was very precocious and got into a lot of trouble. My mother would go nuts. She couldn't manage me. But one thing I realized at a very early age was that I had a gift of mimicking, and I could hear voices on TV and mimic accents. And my mother, like 8 years old, was bringing me out to company going, do your Southern accent, do your Northern. And I'm like this little kid, and I felt like the toy monkey, which I was. And I also realized the value of being able to be funny, and that I got my mother's approval from being funny. So it is not a shock that I then pursued being a comedian, though my path to being a comedian was a little more detailed.
It always is, right? It's never a straight line.
It always is. It's never easy.
No. All right. So, if you wait to the end, we have some really great stuff. I have some freebies I'm going to be giving away. So We want to make sure you have all that. So you don't want to leave before then, because I'll put those in the chat and you'll be able to download those. But like, so one of the things that makes this different from my perspective is that there's not anybody else out there that's a speaking coach that's teaching this, right? And humor and branding as a speaker and all of these things, being able to tell really good stories. I mean, that's what I love about comedians. They tell a really good story. You're like, they're standing there telling you a story and you're like feeling like you're watching a movie because you're in the story. That's one of the things I think is really great. And so what makes this different is you're really getting a full spectrum of both of our experiences. Me with just being on stages and doing all of this and helping other people get on stages, and Julie, where she's been on stages and practicing her craft and literary agent and be able to pitch people and do all the things and reading through even shows to see if they would even want to pitch. She'd want to pitch to an executive and try to see if they can get a show or a movie or a pilot. So it really does lend to such a bigger spectrum than I've ever
There
seen.
is such a crossover between stand-up performing and speaking, because in both cases, you do not want to look in the audience and see somebody either snoring, scrolling on their phone. God knows enough guys I know are like, Jolie, I wish I could be funny like you. People are always zoning out. And it's unbelievable. You could have 1,000 people, but as a speaker, you will always notice, because I know this is a comedian, you notice the one person that is nodding off or isn't reacting the way you expect them to react to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Am I right, Erin?
Yes, for sure. And I think a lot of times as a speaker, we focus on that one person, trying to convert that one person.
Oh my God, you're like, your whole stage course is like converting one person.
And that's not what we should be paying attention to. We should be paying to the people who really love our stuff. So knowing that we have a combined experience, we're going to be really talking about your signature talk and what you need to have that. I know a lot of speaking coaches teach that, but I think it is the pinnacle and the cornerstone of what every speaker needs to be able to get out there and to make $100,000 from a speech. And I'm saying that speech, how many times do you have to do it to make 100,000? Because if you keep skipping and jumping and creating new talks everywhere you go, people won't know what you talk about and they won't know how to hire you. When I'm on social media, someone today was like, hey, I see that on Haro, somebody's looking for a TEDx expert for Authority Magazine. You should apply. Like, people know what I do. And so they immediately know how to refer me. And that's the same thing with your signature talk. If you have 5 talks, people are not going to know what you talk on. And they're like, oh, there was 5 things. I did hear her talk. She was great, but I don't remember which one. And if they're in that confused place, they're not going to hire you. They're not going to invite you to speak, right? So you want to make sure you have that nailed. And then we're going to talk about how we infuse humor and how it breaks down barriers and genuinely connects with your audience and endears them to you. And the beautiful thing is it enhances receptivity. So it actually opens parts of their brain that you wouldn't have access to normally from just somebody up there speaking and doing their thing, right? And so it's really important to be able to do that and to do it in a very authentic way, right? This isn't like, oh, tell me a joke.
No, but I think that the fallacy that a lot of speakers are under is that imparting knowledge is why they're on stage. And that is a big fallacy, because you've talked about the word fire hosing, Erin, and I know what you mean. People just spew knowledge. No one's paying attention. You're not going to get people to mentally grasp, to stay in line and follow you through your talk unless you are connecting on an authentic level through story, humor, and anecdotes. And that is what I do speaking. That is how I've had a following through stand up. And that is what I will impart in the workshop, which we will be talking about at the end.
Yeah. And then to be able to have something to sell at the end, to always know that when you get up on stage, it's not just to educate, it's to educate, entertain, and sell. You can't sustain the message. I always say, if you can't be you cannot be a lighthouse to the world You can't keep your own lights on. You need to know how to make money in order to keep doing this work. And so it's really important that you can create offers and knowing what offers would sell on what stages and how much time you have. So I have the compelling conversion matrix, which says how long you're on stage, how much know, like, and trust you build, what you can offer, whether you're a beginner or an expert. And we'll be going through that in our workshop because I want you to know exactly, oh, I have 30 minutes, I have 20 minutes, I have 60 minutes, I have 90 minutes. But you can also expand that time by doing other things before you get there. And like I said, I always teach how to make $10,000 anytime you take a stage. It's one of the freebies you're going to get at the end of this is how do I monetize a free stage? Because I know a lot of the places are like, yeah, you can come and speak, but we're not paying you and you can't sell. But I will teach you to sell without selling. I did a 5-minute talk and did not sell anything. And I had a gentleman in the back of the room who's the president of Geek Wire. And we ended up going to coffee and I signed a $100,000 deal. Did a 5-minute talk with nothing to sell, no offer. And it converted to $100,000. That's the
impressive
power.
as well.
That's the power of really knowing your stuff, knowing how to master that, and knowing how to do that. So we're going to go through some of that stuff. Oops. Okay. So like we said, we've discovered this hard way. We just stumbled through it. We figured it out. We've got on stage, maybe bombed on stage. Maybe something didn't land. Maybe something didn't convert. We've done all of that. And so now you get to learn the proprietary formula that actually gets people success from the stage. So the hard way is getting on stage without a strategy. It's bombing, trying to figure things out, not knowing what wasn't working like I did. I didn't know why it wasn't working. Or you failed a stage and thinking that you need more stages. Oh, if I just get on more stages, I'll make more money. Let me tell you, none of us want to be on the road 24/7. I know. I have 2 children. If I was on the road 24/7, they would not want to talk to me. And when I am on the road, they are a part of it. They know the journey and they cheer me on and we FaceTime every day, but nobody really wants to just doing that old style of speaking where you're hitting the road dog. It's hard. And especially if you're not closing people, then of course you're going to need more stages. But what if, and what we're going to teach you and what we're going to show in the workshop with you is really how to make more money in the rooms you're on instead of going to get another one and another one. We all go, I can't find gigs. I need more gigs. You don't need more gigs if you have the conversions in the rooms that you are in.
And you were explaining to me, and I totally get, and it's very important for people to know that, that it's very easy to question oneself when you're on stage and think it's, you don't know why you're not selling. But that is where this process that both of us are going to be sharing with you, both the actual skills and offers and the emotional techniques to connect and be effective. It's not about numbers, it's about quality presentation.
Yes. And attracting the right people. So
Right.
you want to get the easy way that sells your programs without selling. Like I said, even if you can't sell on stage, I still sell. And what I will tell you is this is the kind of warning, not everyone can do this. And I'll tell you why. If you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to take feedback, if you're not willing to try something new, it's not going to work for you. So I always like to say that, some of the results I get people are really, truly not typical because these are people that actually did the work. There are people that have paid me $18,000 and never showed up to a coaching call.
No way.
So,
No way.
Oh yeah, lots. Let me just say, more than 10 in my 10 years.
We'll just stay home and eat Burger King.
But that's kind of the way that it works, right? So if you're here, step 1 and knowing that you're on the right track, and if you're willing to do the work, then you could get these same kind of results. And so today we want to talk about, like I said, the compelling talk that converts and engages, the infusing humor and builds the genuine connection, and creating an offer that you want to buy. Because when you want to buy it, it's not sales anymore, guys. And that happens all the time. So that's what I teach, because I think then you're just offering them the solution to their problem. And they're like, yes, of course, 100 times yes. Gotten off stages and people are like, oh my God, you're the reason I'm here. And I'm like, okay, I'm so glad. So making sure you have that compelling talk engages. Now, An compelling talk, you need to be able to connect with your audience, and you need to be able to do a storytelling that's so deep that you're sharing it from stage. It's something where you didn't have the answers. It's probably a story you're afraid to share, but I will tell you, the stories you're afraid to share are the most that convert. And one time I was having a breakdown in the middle of an online retreat I was hosting, and I took my lunch break and I cried and I had this huge breakdown and I didn't understand what was going on. I called my coach, worked through it, came back when I was supposed to do my pitch, and instead shared what I was going through and was totally transparent and honest. I had 100% conversion into an $18,000 mastermind. It's unheard of. Because if you're willing to go there where someone else is, some people in the audience are like, dude, that's me right now. Oh, and they're like, but she knows the route to the top of the mountain because she's been there, she's done that. And when you tell your story so well that the audience goes into their story, now they're releasing oxytocin and you're bonded. So this is very, very powerful stuff. I do not work with people I don't want their message to be shared in the world. Because if it did, I probably would have some like cult leader stuff. Like I know how good the stuff I'm going to teach is. I don't want to give it to just anybody, right? I really want to make sure that these people have integrity, they have heart, and they really are changing the world. So, like I said, it's a powerful tool. You need to have it, especially if you're going out and getting gigs. They need to know what your signature talk is. What is the one thing first? Now, like I said, Tony Robbins didn't start with Date with Destiny. He started with Unleash the Giant or whatever. It was Waking the Giant. And he was out there talking about that and selling his books and his tapes and all that stuff. He made a lot of money being known for that. Then he could shift to another topic, and then he could go there as well because people knew him for those two topics now. Then if you wanted to add a third, then after you make $100,000 per speech at a speech, like however you're selling that, then you can change topics. But I want you to dig deep into one first because it becomes top of mind and organizers speak and they're like, oh my gosh, you got to bring in Erin. She's amazing at this. And that speaks for itself. But if you're, like I said before, if you have 10 talks, dog walking, cat walking, art, I mean, people just don't know what to do, right? And so really making sure you develop that talk and it's refining it. It's making sure that you know exactly how to get to the audience, knowing their core values, knowing what they aspire to, what are their pain points, what keeps them up at night. Those are the ways that you have to impact and influence, and it will bring you income. So,
Erin,
yes.
I just wanted to add one thing to this that just came to me that I wouldn't have thought about until you spoke about it. You know, everybody wants to be everything to everybody, and that includes like when I was an agent for screenwriters or actors or anybody. They all want to be a generalist. You cannot be, nobody will hire you. You need to be a specialist with a special message until you're known for that, as she pointed out with Tony Robbins, and then you can pivot to other
Genres,
areas and other
topics, industries, whatever. But you got to get known for
right, whatever you want.
And this is where you come in, girl. So I'd love to have you take this one over because this is super important, is infusing humor and how it builds that genuine connection. And I know that you have so much of knowledge in that, not only just, being a comedian, but also like being a literary agent for, comedies, right? And being able to pitch a comedy and get that onto, a show or a movie or whatever. But I think really, truly, you have to be able to engage people. And if you're not, you're boring them to sleep and you're not going to do anything. So tell us a little bit more about humor and how you guys, the entertainers, practice their craft.
So nobody you see on stage, no veteran comedian, no novice. I mean, the reason there are open mics, which I was talking with Erin about, speakers, you guys have like the Rotary Club or all these freebie gigs that you can practice. But let me tell you something, they're important because as a comedian, you start off and you use, even when, even if you're Jerry Seinfeld or you are Chappelle, you always are testing material out predominantly in a room, an open mic where you're given time to see what material that you think is good rings with the audience and what doesn't. So you're essentially, my career, and anybody who's had a longitudinal career, is about starting with, in my case, a 7-minute routine, and then finding new material and swapping things out and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't, getting, seeing material that you're convinced is impactful, bomb, and not allowing your ego to be so sensitive that you are impacted by any one single performance. Any speaking you do that doesn't go well, could be the audience isn't your audience. It could be a multitude of things. The most important piece of information I can give you today, and obviously I have a lot more to share in the workshop, is to know what you're saying, your speech, backwards and forwards, to the point that if you are like anybody, if you're distracted on stage, or you flub, or let's say the opening of your speech doesn't go the way it's supposed to, that you do not flinch, that you keep going straight on. You do not want to go off topic. You do not want to apologize. You don't want to do any of that, because 90% of the time the audience has no clue that you messed up. So that is essentially, there's a lot of stage techniques I can share, but in this masterclass, that was a predominantly, what I wanted to say, Erin.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. I watch my videos back every single time. What can I do better?
Always.
How can I
You
get
got
better?
to tape yourself. You got to record yourself. You got to time yourself. I mean, especially if you're a babbler like me, you got to time, because time goes by and you're looking at a red light and it's telling you have a minute to go and you're like, what? I just got up here.
I think we've all been there. Okay, and then the offer, like we were talking about, your offer needs to be so amazing that it's exciting for you to share. If it's something, first of all, here's what I notice about a lot of people. Maybe they might put together an offer that sounds really great. Maybe it makes sense. But if you, and I have a client who was creating something, and it was like, she's like, well, then I'd have to do one-on-one calls, and I have this and I'll have this, and I'm trying to think of all the time this is going to take. And I was like, guess what? If you go up there with that offer, you're going to bomb. And it's because you don't want to deliver it. Right. And if you don't want to deliver it subconsciously, you're going to bomb it so that nobody buys it, so that you don't have to deliver it. So these are things that are really important. So creating an offer and really thinking about the audience in mind, not just thinking about what you want to offer them. What does the audience need? And what is the next best step for them? Even when you do have an offer, what's the next best step from that? Creating a speaker funnel that when you get off stage, you're taking them on a customer journey. As I said in here earlier, a lot of my clients are in this call, whether they've worked with me in a group program that's ending, whether they've worked with me one-on-one and they're coming back for more, that they want more information. When you're so good, they keep wanting to come to your stuff, right? It's easier to sell to those people because they already know, like, and trust you. So why not? But you have to have that journey. You need an offer suite where you know that you can upsell and you can downsell. And so it's really important to have an offer that not only do you want to deliver on, but you want to make it so sexy that it's exciting for you to share. I can't wait to share with you guys. This workshop is coming up. Same thing as I'm doing right now, right? I love to teach you what I do in order for you to go do it and realize, oh, that's why it worked. Erin was so excited about offering us this workshop that we're going to do on March 1st and 2nd, that when she offered it, it was amazing and exciting and fun, and I wanted it, right? So you want to be like that. You want to make sure it's something that you're just like, this is so awesome. You guys come to this workshop. We're going to have so much work. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to have
No,
everything.
work. It's not going to be
I
work.
know.
It's
But
going to be fun. Come on. Don't say work. Work isn't,
no, but you're
I'm
going to get
allergic.
stuff done is what I'm trying to say. Because I think a lot of times people go to workshops or whatever, and they're just ahead speaking to you. We're actually going to take time for you to craft your talk. You're going to take time to craft your offer. We're going to take time to learn how to infuse funny stories into your stuff. It's going to be doing the work, not just talking about it. And so
interactive is the only way you learn, is to work with people that know more than you do about something, take their input, and while you're there, being able to implement it into your speeches. That is gold. Let me tell you something. You don't get that in comedy. You just get up there and you're like a trapeze artist hoping you'll fly. And if you don't have a net.
I love that. Yeah, so you're going to get opportunity to practice this. That, we talked about getting on stages and getting to bomb or trying out stories and not knowing if they work. You're going to have an interactive audience of people who would be part of your audience. And so you're going to get some feedback from other people as well of like, did that work? Did that not work? Did you feel connected to me? Did you not? Where did you check out? You get to practice that during this workshop, because I think feedback is the most valuable thing you can ever get in speaking. That's why when I do my events, I do a whole half day where I'm just giving feedback to people on stage, and you're learning by watching other people do 2 minutes and get feedback. Oh yeah, I remember when she did that. I didn't like that, or I checked out, or yeah, I felt that, but I didn't know why. That is important. That is feedback. And I think that it is so essential to surround yourself with people that you can get feedback from, so that when you are on stage, you're killing it and you're converting because you've already done the work. That's what's amazing. So
and the other thing that, besides, like I said, being able to help people with their performing and stagecraft, etc., the fact that I've worked with screenwriters and I've taken their material and I've seen what to get rid of, what to add, how to, I fine tune. I can listen to somebody's speech or read it, and I can tell you what's going to hit and what's not. So that is another benefit you will get at the workshop if you come with your speech or your expertise, and you want to know from me and Erin, obviously, whether something is compelling enough in of itself to get your audience to be there, whether it's delivering the value that you see it delivering.
For sure. And I think, like, in some of these results, we wanted to share with some of the things that people have gotten from us. Like, I mean, Siddiqui was awesome. I was in her 3-day workshop. She called me night 2. She'd done her pitch. She'd only converted 2 people out of 40. She was upset. She's like, what did I do wrong? How do I fix this? And I was like, here's some subtle little tweaks. Let's work this out. Tomorrow morning, when you come back on, I want you to repitch it. And so she did, and she converted at 80%. So sometimes the things we don't see, but someone like us can see through and go, okay, I see that didn't quite work, and here's why, and here's how to go back and do that a little differently so that it hits better, right? So, I mean, these are things that are so valuable. Susie got feedback from Julie, like, here's some things that I think you should add to. This would be, helpful. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's so much better now. It's these subtle things that we think, or we don't see it. It's like the blinders, right? So we don't see it because it's our stuff. It's our content. It's our offer. It's the things that we are inside and out every day. And so it's really important to have somebody. I mean, Derek came to me with a book. He wrote a book about the police and me. That's all he had. And I was like, you're never going to make money or make the big impact that you want to make selling something for $19.95. So within the session, we created this empowerment program where now he's the goal of putting 1 million books inside of police officers' cars to branch the division between police and people of color. And he's going in and doing police trainings with emotional intelligence and helping them understand and becoming a community leader so that they don't resort to some of those other force techniques that don't work in there.
Erin, are you insinuating New York City? Come on, Erin, just because you're in the sticks of Idaho.
I know.
Listen, also, I mean, what I help Susie with, people don't realize, everybody thinks like they have an exciting life, they have something big to say. You can take the most minute aspects of your life that you're like Erin was sharing, you're embarrassed about things that are the most vulnerable are often the most compelling on stage, period, end of story.
Yep. They really are.
And you can mine a lot of stuff that you want to talk about that can be more improvisational by virtue of really knowing your story in addition to the knowledge you are imparting.
Yeah. So we've been talking about a lot of this stuff, and like we said, we can't do it all in one day. There's like some things that you'd really need to jump in, and it is very individualized. We want to keep this group really small that we go through this for this workshop, because if there's 100 people in it, it's going to be really hard to get one-on-one feedback. So we want to do this and really help you have everything you need. I mean, because think about this: what would happen if all of a sudden your talk was converting and your offer was so sexy you wanted to buy it? So now all your limiting beliefs are out of the way, and you can just keep going out there. And like I always say, I make 10K anytime I take a stage. That's the least. And that's not just getting paid to speak. I do get paid to speak, and I speak and sell on stage. So I have all these other options of how I can do that. And so having that, it is a cash register or like a cash machine. Anytime I want it, I'm like, a cha-ching. Okay, turn on the faucet. Let me go out and do a gig. I'll go get some clients. I need a cash injection, whatever that is. Oh, hey, the kids want to go to Disney World. All right, let me turn on a cash injection, right? Speaking is the fastest path to cash. And if you're not monetizing it, you're not making the money you want, we're going to be able to help you do that. But we couldn't do it with thousands of people in our room or hundreds of people.
No, you can't get personalized attention that way.
No. And I know a lot of people come to me, especially on the TEDx stage, are like, oh, I've been speaking for years. I don't really need you. And I was like, that's funny. And then I'll ask them a question. They're like, okay, let's see. And then they're like, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to do this without you. I didn't know any of this stuff. Right. So just know that there might be stuff that you don't know you're doing, or things that you don't know you should be doing.
And Erin, the conversion rate point that you mentioned to me, which some of these people don't know why they're not selling, and then you ask them, they want more gigs, and you go, wait a minute, what is the conversion rate you're getting per gig? And they'll tell you, and you'll go, that's 3%. How are you making a living?
I know. And so you got to know those things. You got to know your numbers, and you got to know how to convert. So I know, but you're going to be excited because, like we said, we've been seeding it all the way through, but we're going to be doing a 2-day workshop on Zoom that's going to help you do all these things, because we know how impactful this can be. I mean, this can change your life. This can add $100,000 to your bottom line this year. So our workshop is on March 1st and 2nd. And you have the times. You're going to get the 8-hour workshop with us. We're going to do 4 hours and 4 hours, because it's going to give you some time that evening, the next morning, to just get some of the stuff done that maybe you didn't get done on the call, right? Just closing up some stuff, making sure, okay, yeah, I got some feedback on that story. I want to add to that. I want to take that part out. You're also going to get my TEDx Bible and resources. It's got, oh my God, so many videos. It's got your everything you need to know how to land a TED Talk. You'll get the book. I don't even have one of my books down here because I gave it to the doctor yesterday in urgent care. But you'll get the e-version of that. You'll get my Speakers Academy, which is an online course. So you get that for as a part of this. And I'll be having an event May 23rd through the 26th in Seattle, where I'm doing 3 days where you're learning everything about speaking. And for those who have a VIP ticket, you will do 2 minutes on my stage and get feedback. That's invaluable. And you get it for being a part of this workshop. So if you've wanted to, you get all this stuff for here, and you bring it to Seattle and get on that stage and be able to, do your talk, you're going to get some real feedback from that. And you have a live audience to do it in front of, right? I usually have 100 to 200 people in the room. So this will be a really great opportunity, because you'll get time on my stage to do that. But we had two choices. Like we said, we could do this the inexpensive way. We could have put this in maybe an online course or whatever. But we knew that the value is in the feedback and the help that you get from us. So we wanted to make something so that would be maybe a little higher investment, but you'll actually be able to get more results and guarantee your success by getting help. Speaking of TEDx, Hap Klopp, he was the founder of North Face. He's a 74-year-old man, which I loved. His TEDx talk is on AI, and I thought that was really great. And he had been speaking for years and thought, oh, I know enough. And I got him his very first standing ovation. So this is how impactful this is. I don't care where you are in the journey. If you aren't getting the results, there's probably something you don't know yet. And we want to help you get there. And so please join us. You can see all the things you're going to get, right? But we also wanted to throw in some extra stuff. I want to give you the speaker workbook. I worked on this for a while. And I think it's like 48 pages, but it's almost like a journal. And some of it we'll be using in the workshop because it's like, hey, thinking about your ideal audience. Who are they? What are the top of mind problems? You'll be able to go through and actually physically fill it out or go online and put it into into a Google Doc, but you'll really get to dive deep into what is your brand? What are you speaking on? What is your message? What is your offer? All of those things to really understand the beautiful parts of what you have and how you can make money doing it. So we're going to give that, and that's for the first 10 people who join us because it's invaluable. I'm going to have this at my event too. It's actually going to be printed and everyone's going to get one. It's going to be kind of cool. I haven't actually shared it yet. So, and then we wanted to give you, because some of you will be like, well, I don't know. I might need some one-on-one. I might need some, one-on-one feedback. Well, you'll get a chance to do that. You'll get to choose which one of us you want to do a call with after the workshop and jump on a call with us and pick our brain and let us look at your stuff and send it ahead of time. And when we jump on, we can literally go through and help you understand, like, what is it that you're doing, not doing? How do you want to make this better? What is it that you got stuck with? All of those things. I think that feedback is also very valuable. So
Very valuable,
yes.
Erin.
Yeah.
Underscore. Very.
So we have a lot of things that you're getting. And it could be totally worth the value of $7,000. But what I want you to really think about, this was one of my last events I did in Seattle. God, this is probably now like 8 years ago before COVID. But how much would you pay to get a cash injection anytime you need it? Like I said, it's my ATM. Anytime I want to make money, I'm going to Orlando next month and speaking and getting to sell my course for the Great Discovery. And I'm really excited to do so. And they're really excited about it. And then I'm going to stage swap with them and they're going to come and speak at my event. But I know I can turn that on and I get to take my son with me. How cool is it that I get to take my 16-year-old son? We're going to go have fun somewhere, Disney World, one of the parks the next day. But that's really worth to me everything. It's nice to have the money. It's nice to have the impact, but it's also nice to create experiences for my family. So that's what I love about a signature talk. And that's why I know it's worth way more than any of that. So we had this workshop ready to go at 1997. And I said, Julie, we got to do some talking here. And she's like, no, they're getting so much
because I know how much value we're giving. Are you kidding me?
Remember, it's got to be so sexy. You want to buy it. So if you were to invest and attend this workshop, you'll be able to have your talk that deeply connects with your audience and easily sells your program. And you won't struggle anymore to get clients from stage anytime you want. That was really, truly our guarantee. We really wanted to make sure you had that. So we know it's going to be 1997 for the public. But because you're here and you sat through this whole thing and you gotten to see all the things and all the bells and whistles and learning from us, that we're going to do something special for you guys. So it's going to only be $997. And like I said, it's March 1st and 2nd. We're doing it on Zoom. And it's going to be an amazing opportunity for you to really get some feedback. And I'm going to put it in the chat. Feedback on your work and all the things, whether it's your offer, whether it's your talk. We're going to go through all of it. So make sure
whether
that
it's your performance, whether you're not sure about anything in terms of your performing or your material, today until Sunday only, we are slashing the price. I said to Erin, you're out of your mind. She said, just do it. So you're going to pay less than $1,000 for 8 hours of our time, her time alone, let alone my time, is highly valuable. And by Sunday night, the price is going to go up, right, Erin?
Yep, that's in here. Hold on, let me get to that one.
Yeah, it's not, I don't see it.
I know. Well, also the thing I wanted to tell them is we have a, you know, you have two options, right? Do nothing, take this, and don't take this leap of faith. It's 100% risk free. Because what I want you to do is I want you to show up to the workshop. And by hour 2, if you feel like, God, this was not worth it at all, I'll give you your money back. Because I know it will be. And I know within 2 hours, you're going to be like, I'm hooked. I'm in. I'm already getting this stuff. Yes, this is all I ever wanted. So I'm not afraid of giving a guarantee like that. So you don't even have to take a risk. It's not a risk at all to just show up. It's just a few hours of your time, right? It's just worth gambling a few hours. Just check it out and see what we've claimed that we're going to be able to help you do. And we said it's going to pay for itself. If I teach you how to make 10,000 anytime you take a stage, that's 9,000 in ROI. So it's a no-brainer, right? And here's the thing. What I do know is there's going to be people who go, I want to stay in frustration. No, I like the status quo. This is easy. Maybe I like only making 2 or 3 sales from stage. And other people are going to be like, this was the thing that I needed to understand why I wasn't converting and to literally be able to.
And to really excel and advance their speaking career.
Yeah.
You have to invest in order to move forward. That is something I've always learned in every area of my life, whether it was as a comedian, working with bigger comedians, or whether it was in the industry. It's minute in comparison, as Erin said, to the results and the revenue that you will build from the learning you will receive.
Yeah. And so we want to invite you guys to join us with this workshop. It's going to be great. You're going to have some stuff ahead of time to get prepared, so that when you show up, you're ready to hit the ground running, because that's what we really want. Like we said, we want you to get the total value of this as fast as possible and to take the action to do so. So that when you leave, that's like the following week, you could go out and get some gigs and make some money. Like, I like printing money. It's fun. So here's what I know. Here's the things that will be going through your head. If you don't sign up, you don't believe it will deliver. And I hear that. I get that a lot. I get a lot of people said, oh, I've done this. I paid somebody for a signature talk. Julie came to me after she had paid somebody to do a signature talk. And she's like, I don't even like it. It's not what I want to do. So we worked on that, right? I get it. But I will tell you, that happens. But I will tell you, we're both in integrity. And so we know that that's why we can give you your money back at the 2-hour mark, if that's what you feel. I know it's also the thing that comes through your mind subconsciously is like, you won't believe it'll work for you. And I hear that. I understand that. And what I know is there's a success formula for this. It's not, oh, because I'm special or because Julie's special. This is because it works. We know the formula.
You have the formula for taking an offer and for them making, their ROI significant. It's 8 hours of time. That is more time for that amount of money, Erin. It's ridiculous. There's nothing more to say.
Yeah.
They either see the value or they don't.
Well,
But
what
honestly,
go
ahead.
I was going to say is I also believe that there might be something subconsciously about, like, you don't believe you could make 10K anytime you take a stage. Like, I get that. Right? Julie just fought this with her dad. She was like, oh yeah, she can make 10K anytime she takes a
My
stage.
dad's like, no way.
There's going to be a lot of people that don't believe that, but I know that's a subconscious block. So I'm going to do something very special. We're not special. We just know the formula. But I wanted to do something extra special that on the morning of Saturday, I'm going to extend the time and I'm going to show up at 10 a.m. and I'm going to do group clearing, where I'm helping you remove, using NLP, remove your limiting beliefs that's stopping you from making the money that you could make. I know that I just did a group with our corporate group, and one of the last calls are like, well, I didn't know you could clear out all these beliefs that are keeping me from taking action and getting the money and pitching my business and doing the things. So I want to make sure that you get that as well as a part of this. So I'll show up that morning and start the call with clearing out some limiting beliefs, because I know that that might be some of the things that are getting in the way. So I know it's already worth that, because look, $497, like that's what I charge people, $500 to do the clearing session. So we're going to get to do that. So, like she said, we're going to do this for now and until Monday. The Monday day is the day that this ends. So I wanna
Sunday
make sure.
night, meaning like midnight Sunday night.
Yeah, because Julie will kill me if I don't. She
I
already
will.
wants it. But I wanted you guys to have the opportunity for that and to really get the things that you need for this to work. So we want to give you the time as well. You need to move money around, do whatever you need, look at your schedule. Don't let those things get in the way. Just take action, knowing that it's risk-free, knowing that you can get what you need in order to go out there and make a lot of money on stage. Just the clearing session alone. Could you imagine if you didn't believe that it wouldn't work, that you're nothing special, that you don't have what it takes, you're not enough? I mean, all those things that we all struggle with behind closed
The
doors.
enough thing is a huge thing that you hear even very successful people struggle with, Erin. So the fact that you can help people with that is incredible.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that you take advantage of that. Julie, I'm going to have you send it out, whatever other things you wanted to say, and then we can even open it up for some questions. I'm going to put in
Sure.
the,
Um, so anyway, Erin in of herself has been doing this 13 years. She's been doing workshops, she's been doing coaching. Um, you know, like I said to her, I mean, I've invested a lot of money in a lot of areas of my life, but to add a veteran comedian who knows performing on stage as a speaker, as a funny speaker, as a compelling speaker, whatever it is, I always tell people go, well, I can't be funny. And I'm like, I don't believe you can teach people to be funny. But one thing you can definitely do is teach people not to talk at people, but to talk with people. And doing that is through personal anecdotes that I will show you how you incorporate that in your speaking through, you know, little storytelling of your, something that comes to you. You'll be very surprised at how being improvisational on stage is not as difficult as you may think. You're like, I'm not an improv person. No, but you know what? When you're confident on stage and you know your stuff, everybody most of the time knows what they know. But when you know that you are compelling to your audience and they're with you and they're rooting for you, you will fly high and you will end up not only selling and making a lot of money, but you will also be feeling really good about you. And that is very important.
yeah. I know there were some people who had questions, so feel free to come off mute and ask. Well, I am getting.
Yay, bravo. This was one of
Hey,
the
Joy, what's up?
what's happening? What's up? Listen, I've tuned into a lot
Sorry, I had to break out. I'm being too serious. This is killing me.
of serious is good. That's my domain. Listen, ladies, I've enjoyed this and I've learned a lot. I've tuned in from time to time to other people because I'm really attempting to get together a signature talk. But I have a serious issue on my end, meaning for me, it's like a movement for women. I'm really wanting to speak to what's true. The buzzword for 2023 was authentic. Confidence is all about. So my background is fashion. So I'm starting off by relating and connecting to women about how you show up, your presence, your image, your appearance, especially if you're a professional, whether you work in corporate or on the internet, entrepreneurial, it's all the same. And I see so many women today, and so somebody asked me why, but I'll continue. Leggings, jeggings, and tights, they don't belong in the professional setting. You have to dress like a professional. And I don't know how to convey this message where it does register and resonate. And I do this because of my momsy. My background is fashion. My mother loved, she tuned into everything. She had a closet packed full of clothes. She never knew what to wear. And whatever she wore was okay. And the next day it wasn't okay. And this is because all of our programming, all of our conditioning has been way out in left field. No need to blame men. Sexy is still in, it's going to stay. But let's go to the heart soul of who we are. We are the bedrock. And I don't know how to deliver this so women will tune in and listen to what I have to say and say, woo, I need to change how I show up.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
where I'm at.
There's
I'm
a
not
lot.
concerned, Joy, in helping you because I myself am very involved in empowering women as well
Good.
through the entertainment industry, which is akin to fashion. And you and I both know, girl, that they have decided, like before COVID and after COVID, definitely that casual is in. And if
It
you're
is
thinking
in.
about wearing bedroom leggings to work,
And
are
there's
you
nothing wrong with
kidding
it.
me? Are you kidding me?
There's nothing wrong with casual, but
No.
kick it up a notch. Make it
No, but if you're
your core
presenting,
personality.
you need to, it also, like you said, it reflects their own self-image. Am I right?
Exactly. And it's a facade. It's not genuine, authentic, real, because they're showing up and it's just, it's gone
Joy,
awry. What I'm about is a movement for women, those who
love that.
want to be in leadership.
Well,
And
and
you
We
want it.
definitely
I have
want somebody like you to, to excel at what you're attempting to do. So
Well, and I will
we'd
tell
be
you,
happy to have
so
you. Go on, Jeff.
I have been working in corporate doing feminine executive communication coaching for years. Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon, Expedia, Google, right? These women don't know, right?
They don't know. They don't
And
know.
I will tell
We
you,
have
one
been
of my
taught.
top executives, she was number 5 in Microsoft. She's a global channel chief, and she kept getting up on stage and wearing like old lady shoes. And she's only like, she was like 45. And these like blouses that did nothing for her, just made her blend into the background. And so I really understand when I even told her, if you're going to get on that stage with 20,000 people, you got to stand out. And so immediately the next year, she did better at speaking. She looked better in speaking. And so I do know that there is so many women that need what you have. And I think if we were to help you write your signature talk and I tell you how to take that to corporate, you would have, especially the ERG groups that are like women of Amazon, women of Microsoft, women of whatever, right?
Yes.
I think you really could take that to the next level.
Well, the reality for me, Erin, is that I'm just missing the boat because I know, I don't question that the paradigm for the programming and the conditioning and the sexualized that most of us, regardless of the generation, was raised with, is over.
Yeah.
And if we don't wake up and realize how really powerful we are, we're not going to ever get the equality that we seek.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to do this for women, because I know how powerful, I know my own journey and what I've done to get here, that's self-aware, that's self-knowing and all of that good stuff. But I see so many women who are faking it. And we need those of us who want to be in leadership so that we can empower others. We need to wake up those who have the potential to come forward and march with us.
I love
Yep. Amen, girl.
They say I'm a preacher at heart, so I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
get my
you sounded
message
like
out.
Jesse Jackson for a second. I was like, holy
Oh
shit.
God, Jesse. Oh Jesus.
What happened to Jet? Do you know I heard he has Alzheimer's? Did he
Yeah,
die?
Jesse must be what, 99 by now? What is
I
Jesse?
know. Denzel is going to be 70. I'm going to kill myself.
Oh, 70 is young.
I'm telling you, anybody under 30 that is wanting to, there is no more stars in America. Do you understand? Hollywood
I do.
is dead as I know it.
But I beg to differ, Julie, because what we have to get to, all of us who want to empower others as we empower ourselves, we have to realize that we are the stars, we are royalty, we are regal, yet we're not better.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to get to. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
that doesn't mean that, we don't have a lot of work at hand to make sure,
Yes.
because it is image. What you're talking about is image.
And it matters. It
And,
matters.
being an image, I almost became an image consultant because it's fashion, it's attitude, it's a whole slew of things, which
It's
you know.
everything. And you know what
And
bothers me? The suicide rate among our young kids, it's the highest it's ever
yeah,
been. They,
well, that's,
they have to
that would
aspire
be
to
a
something. They
topic.
have to look to something. You're not better, but you have to stand there like teachers going to school in flip-flops and leggings and what happened? It's not because I'm a happy senior that this is not right. I just know it's not. And somebody has to step up, and I want to be that person, but I don't know how to get it out there. So
Well,
that's why I'm here,
we will
ladies.
help you. Erin,
We'll help you. Yeah, I know we're
are
over
there
time.
other questions anybody has that we can answer for you?
I gotta jump because we're at the time where it's like 5 minutes over and I have
Okay, great.
but here's what I want you to do. Take action. Follow up with us. You guys will get an email. They'll have all the stuff
ma'am.
out there, and just email us back. If you need to jump on a call, Julie can jump on a call. We can talk. You can make sure we get your questions answered too. But we really want to make sure you have everything. Just join us for the workshop, guys. It's definitely worth the time that you'll put in. Yes, Joy.
Just one question, Erin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take up the whole time. I didn't know what your time schedule was. I'm kind of scattered here, but what time are the workshops going to be on Saturday and Sunday? Friday.
I think there was a mistake. It's not 11 to 4.
Joy.
Joy.
12 to 1, 1 to 2. Yeah, it is. It's 11 to 4.
11 to
PST time.
4 would be 5 hours.
Pacific time. Okay.
Pacific.
But we'll have a time for there to have break, so they can go and take a lunch break.
Oh, okay. So that's
2 p.m.
break.
for me. I'm on the East Coast. Okay.
Yep.
We'll send
Yep.
out the information. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
ladies, that I took up all the
No,
time.
you're good. You're good. All right. Well, thank you guys all for being here. If you have more